couple days ago, a good friend of mine who is still super active in the church, he came over with the Elders Quorum president. So he's assigned himself to be my minister, or whatever the new term is, or home teacher. And that's totally cool with me because I don't mind talking to people about why I left the church. So that obviously came up, like, what's your story? Why'd you leave? And I went through all the basic stuff. I mean, I could go on at length about all the reasons why it's pretty obvious the church is false. I always start with the basics, like Adam and Eve, Noah, the Tower of Babel, Moses, like all that stuff's make-believe, and that's easily provable. Even, I mean, all kinds of stuff. Even get into the specifically Mormon stuff. I mean, where do you start? There were no Nephites. There's no horses here on this continent. There's no steel, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But what's funny is I've had a lot of conversations with Mormons about that topic. And it's funny how no matter how much evidence there is that they believe in bullshit, I mean, like Book of Abraham, that's a huge one. They have no evidence to counter your argument. They just kind of, they disagree in general, but then they pull out their secret weapon, like their ace in the hole, that they think is like their nuclear weapon that's just going to scorch everything you just said is. They pull out the big guns. Oh yeah, well, I felt the Holy Ghost, and the Holy Ghost told me that it's true. Whoa. I mean, what they're really saying is, okay, in spite of the fact that every single point of doctrine that I believe has been proven false, I still think it's true anyway, because I felt really good one time, or 3 times, or 30 times, like, because I felt good, or the Spirit told me that it's all true. So what's happening is the feeling is real. What isn't real is what they're attributing that feeling to. They're saying that feeling is the Holy Ghost. They can't separate those two. But what that is like is saying that the proof they have that Thor is real is that they have heard the sound of his mighty hammer. So obviously they haven't heard the sound of Thor's hammer, they've heard thunder. But they just think that's one and the same. Thunder is thunder. I mean, thunder is the sound that results from lightning, which is an electrical phenomenon, which we all know that. We don't say lightning is a mighty thunderbolt from Zeus, or that the rumbling of the thunder is, Thor's hammer, because we know now that it's lightning and thunder. So the same with that fuzzy feeling you feel in your bosoms, that's not the Holy Ghost. That too is a natural phenomenon. Everybody feels that. It's not like some invisible dude tickling your titties saying like, hey, all those answers you got incorrect on your math test? They're actually correct because the Holy Ghost said so. No, man, all that stuff that's false is really false, even if your chest feels kind of like warm. That's not the Holy Ghost any more than that lava spewing out of a volcano is an angry deity who's hungry for virgins. I don't think the thunder counts as proof that Thor is real, or that lightning proves that Zeus is real. or that little fuzzy feeling in your chest proves that Mormonism's real. How are those even remotely? So anyways, they say it was such authority, like it's like, oh, we're gonna drop some knowledge bomb. Like, I go through the whole deal. Like I said, Adam and Eve, the flood. There was no worldwide flood. I even asked him if he thought like there were two walruses that kind of wobbled and undulated and blubbered all the way across Canada, swam across the Atlantic and up the Mediterranean and to who knows where the hell Noah was building his ark. Well, I guess the Mormons don't believe he was in Canaan anyway. They believe Noah was like in South Carolina or some crap. Either way, that's a long way for a walrus to go to get on a boat. Who knows what they were eating once they were on the ark, like Cliff Bars or whatever. Jeez, man. And then once they get off the ark, everything's dead. Just a bunch of mud, a muddy wasteland. It's just all the ground's covered in salt now. Once the water dries up, they're just salt because it was ocean water. There's no plants anywhere. So the walruses, somehow they get back to Alaska. The koalas, they had a long way to go to get back to Australia. There's no eucalyptus trees anywhere, so maybe the koalas had to like carry a bunch of eucalyptus seeds and maybe some hoes and picks and shovels and stuff to plant. I mean, maybe the kangaroos carried it and they just went hopping along back to Australia. What's funny is the Aborigines in Australia, they've been there for like 60,000 years, so somehow they managed to survive the flood and didn't even notice it, even though it was a worldwide flood. Somehow too, like the ice caps, the ice cap in Antarctica goes back how many thousands and thousands and thousands of years? You'd think if it was covered in water, might have dissolved that ice. Same with Greenland. But I mean, forget all that crap. My chest felt warm, man. So like, I pretty much know that my beliefs are true, man. I mean, if you have heard the sound of Thor's mighty hammer, you can't deny that Thor's real, man.